Hello there, Chaz Marler from Pair of Dice Paradise here, and as of the time of this recording, this year's long board game convention season is starting to finally enter its final lurch towards the end of the year. Just some of the board gaming conventions and events that have already taken place this year include the GAMA Trade Show, CMON Expo, UK Game Expo, Origins, Dice Tower Con, and Gen Con, of course. And not to mention, though, that there's even more. The first annual Shut Up and Sit Down Expo is happening as of the time of this recording, which will soon be followed by Essen, BGG Con, and PAX Unplugged in just a few of the weeks to come. Now, most of these events focus on sales, retail relationships, and playing as many board games as possible until finally collapsing in fatigue while trying to read newly acquired rulebooks during your flight home. But what about board gaming events for those with more intellectual pursuits, that side of the hobby? Well, if that's your bag, then you may want to check out the Board Game Studies Colloquium. As per their website, the annual Board Game Studies Colloquium is the only recurring annual event devoted solely to the academic study of non-digital games. Its existence was a fascinating discovery for me this week, because it seems to approach the hobby from the complete opposite end of the spectrum as the better-known conventions, such as the retail carnival that is Gen Con. But what do I mean by the quote-unquote intellectual side of board games? Well, here's some examples. This year's Colloquium included seminars on enigmatic board games in early Catholic contexts, the symbolic meanings of the Merrill's board, and board games in pre-Islamic Indonesia. Finds of gaming implements from shipwreck sites considered against old Javanese and classical Malay textual evidence. They were able to cover that last one in just a half hour. At most conventions, it takes me longer than that just to figure out how to connect my hotel's Wi-Fi. And if the Board Game Studies Colloquium's curriculum isn't enough to make a board game enthusiast feel dangerously unqualified, their roster of attendees will. The Board Game Studies Colloquium's participants include a large number of people from a wide range of disciplines, including archaeology, anthropology, psychology, mathematics, history, philosophy, no, not philosophy, philology, which I don't even know what that is, and computer science. By comparison, at Gen Con, I spend my time with a man who enjoys wearing a variety of hats and a guy with a penchant for rodents and circular chocolatey snacks. I mean, sure, no, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't trade the time I get to spend with these people for the world. But we're also not debating a conceptual metaphor analysis of a Swedish dice game book from the 17th century. But we do play dice in a bowl, which still counts as the same thing if you swear in Danish when you lose. So, since the Board Game Studies Colloquium seems so foreign to any other of the board game-centric events that I've ever attended, I want to know if anyone watching this has ever actually attended it. And if you have, let me know in the comments below what it was like. You know, I'd be interested in knowing if it's worth finding a way myself to sneak my way into it. I mean, if for no other reason than to be able to impress my friends with metaphorical 17th century Swedish dice trivia at the next Gen Con. As stated on their website, the interdisciplinarity of the colloquiums is something most other academic fields of study can only dream of achieving. Man, even their boasts of how cool their event is are intimidating. My greatest achievement at Gen Con has been memorizing the entire Fog of War rulebook while in an elevator on the way to a tournament. And by memorize, I mean I read the rulebook. And by read, I mean I watched a YouTube tutorial. And by tutorial, I mean I watched cartoons on my phone instead. Yeah, I lost the tournament. And by lost the tournament, I mean I never went to it. I just watched the cartoons in the hotel lobby. And by that, I mean I've never been to Gen Con.